Hi everybody, I'm Kate Foggo. With me is Julie Haich. Did I say that right?
You said that right.
I'm gonna try. And her Germanic roots. And we are making light to humans being. We are both intuitive soul. Well, we're both intuitives. We are soul level animal communicators and soul level intuitive, and you name it. That's what we are. So what we talk about here is the stuff that comes up for us, how we deal with it, how we use all the tools we found, how we get advice from our animals and our guides and each other, and how we try and navigate life in the hope that others can perhaps get some comfort from it. If they don't get any help, they can at least get comfort from the fact that despite this bristling knowledge we both have and this absolute assuredness that the world is on our side and that we have helpers and animals and guides and all this, the universe supporting us, we're still human, we still wobble, we still have crises, and just come along with us, come for the ride, see what happens. Nice to see you here. And today we have not previewed this, so this is fresh off the press. I have no idea what Julie's going to say. I only hope it's not about me. So let's talk about revenge, Julie.
No, it's not about you.
Yes, but no, but yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but yeah.
It's not about, yes, I want to talk about revenge. It's been a theme. It's swirling in my head since we spoke the last time. And this morning, though, while we were getting ready for this, you were talking about law of attraction. So what you were talking about, I do believe is actually going to be of help. And what's going on is there's two situations in my life right now where I would so love the human side to really, there's a little bit of revenge that wants to happen. In one situation, I want to just, hey, there's two sides to every story. You need to know the background of this. So that perhaps some people can have some more compassion around a situation. And then on another thing that's happening, there's exhaustion on my part of dealing with this thing that's been going on, and I just want it to end and just like put it out of its misery. But in order to do that, I have to get a lot of I gotta get a lot of people on a bandwagon. So anyway, but that's exhausting as well. So I've got two situations in my life where I just like want to I just want to kind of, I guess maybe I call it revenge, but I just want to like go off and express my frustration and just kind of like throttle the situations to the ground.
Okay. Okay. It's the same situation, right?
What? No, they're actually two different things. Two actually different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
One of them you don't know about.
Okay, well, pick one of them and let's take it apart, because what you've said so far doesn't sound like revenge. So explain that to me.
Oh, revenge. Oh, okay.
It's
So
fine, we can change the title, Julie. I mean, it's eye-catching. We might leave it at revenge anyway, but let's look at that, because I'm not sure. Well, you go. I'll shut up.
Well, then the first situation that you don't know anything about, that I'm still going to be really kind of vague about, what I would, outside of like explaining all the backstory so that there's compassion around what's going on, there's also another element of it where I'm just like, well, then I just don't even want to participate. I don't want to participate. I don't want to, like, I almost want to give some cold shouldering to some people.
That's not revenge.
It's not revenge. What is it?
Revenge is when you seek people out and kill them, isn't it?
I wasn't thinking about killing anybody.
No, okay.
That's revenge was like, huh?
Revenge is, you've hurt me, now I'm going to hurt you. So, okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, you're talking about maybe a passive aggressive revenge, as in I'm going to withdraw my love from you because you aren't treating me fairly. I don't feel that you're treating me fairly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure that's revenge, but that's okay.
Okay.
And yes, I suppose there is an element of I'm going to punish you.
Yeah, and that's really what, yes.
But is it? Just to check, you can't hear my washing machine. It's not bugging you.
No.
Okay. Fine, just checking.
Okay.
That's awfully domestic, isn't it? Sitting there going, "What's my washing machine in the background?" Okay, so I'm wildly guessing I know what this is about. Does it involve the dog and a member of your family? No. Oh, good Lord. Okay, I'll shut up. Right. Is that revenge? It depends whether you are. Let me connect to my guys. But are you withdrawing your attention from something, or is your motive to punish somebody?
My motive is somebody is being hurt, emotionally hurt by someone else. And the other person, the someone else, they don't have the full story of what took place. And so they have this they have like a limping story of what took place. And so they're holding that against this person that's being hurt. And I'm watching it and I'm having to stay in this, not my story, not my issue, but it makes me mad because the person being hurt doesn't deserve it.
Where's the revenge element then?
Because I want to just like go and like to explain, like tell the whole story, and you don't understand, and how dare you, and just kind of be, I guess to some degree, inflict some kind of, I don't know if it's inflict some, well, kind of pain, because it's almost like I'd like to just take the person and smack them upside the head and go, you have no idea what really happened. You don't have the full story. You're making decisions based on other people's telling of you, but not your own experience. And so like snap out of it is what I want to. So I don't know, maybe.
Why doesn't person A, the hurt person, tell person B the whole story?
I don't know. I think there's just a whole lot there. And I think there's a whole lot of stuff in person A's background that they just don't feel.
But why is this triggering you? That's what's interesting.
Because I'm having to watch person A be really hurt by it.
By person B or by the situation? By person B.
By person B, by person B, really.
And why does that? Because that's another thing that I was listening to in Abraham Hicks. It could be controversial. It's quite a hard thing in law of attraction to acknowledge that you're not there to help other people, and that, it's nice. Yeah. It's nice for humans to be there for each other, but it's not our job.
Right.
But also that Abraham Hicks has zero tolerance or sympathy for empathic people. It's like, get over it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Sloppy thinking. That's what she calls it. Sloppy thinking, because now I can't remember, and I've been over this and over this and over this. So in the one hand, I think it's sympathy, and I could be saying this wrong, but I'll explain what I mean. Sympathy being where you are able to observe that somebody is in pain and hold your alignment. Empathy is when you join them in their pain, and they have zero tolerance for the latter, which is where I find myself as a very empathic person.
Yeah.
It's about, do not join them in their pain. Your job is to hold your alignment so that you can show by example. If you join them in their pain, you have nothing to offer. Don't know if does that bring anything up for you then about this person? It sounds really harsh.
Yeah.
But I can see that it's useful in that. I think it's useful to be empathic, and maybe it's a language thing, to be able to see how other people and understand and observe and feel how other people feel. I think is a very valuable thing. It's about learning it's actually a bit like when I'm reading animals, I can feel the grief of if it's about an Animal Crossing or something like that, I get bowled over with the grief of the person. But as soon as I connect to the animal, there's no grief. That's not to say there is not a sadness, a realization, of the situation, but there's none of this. Do you find that?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And I've noticed as soon as I go back to the person, then I'm back to, oh no, I need to cry. But the animal's like, hey, I'm dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's about, and it's not without compassion, it's just the grief isn't there. And I guess maybe that's a good way to explain it. It's like being able to see that somebody's in pain and the reasons why they are in pain, but you are not joining them in that pain. You are able to hold the light, as it were.
Yeah. But so when the situation began to unfold and I started having these feelings to both parties, party A being really empathetic, which was igniting then my anger towards party B, I was realizing this wasn't it's not my fight. And my guides were very, very helpful in trying to keep me grounded in a place of love. Like, this is their stuff unfolding. This isn't my stuff. And to hold that space of just calm. I'll even say love. That's really hard though. That's part of probably where I'm still kind of struggling. It's not my space. Party A actually didn't want to go back to party B with any negativity, because this party A is also trying to hold this space of love and realizing that what party B is doing is actually based in their own trauma, so to say. And there's some trauma on party A's part. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, but party A was trying really hard to be strong and stay in a place of love too. And so my default from my past decades has been to get in there and fight on behalf of others, to fight on behalf of the underdog, which I'm realizing doesn't serve me.
It's not always a bad thing. I mean, if you spoke to party B, do you think it would be well received or not?
I don't think so. I don't think
then there's no point. But I mean, I don't think there's, personally, I'm maybe not connected to my guides, this is me, don't see any harm in saying, have you considered XYZ? But if you know that's not going to be well received, then I would stay all away from the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if it's a genuine lack of understanding, I don't see any harm in gently suggesting there may be more to it. I don't know, what do your guys think about that? I'm getting excited about Kate.
As I've been working through this, my guides were showing me if I was ever asked, particularly by party B, what I thought, which I highly doubt would ever happen, then I would have just, there's more to this there's more to the backstory than but I really, really doubt I would be asked. But that would be all I would say, because it's still not the backstory isn't even my story to share. I just know it.
Okay. That makes it difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just really hard to watch somebody that you care about being hurt by circumstances completely beyond their control.
If you're close to party A, can you not suggest, okay, this sounds like fixing. I was going to say, can you not suggest to them that perhaps they could offer some information to party B that might change the situation?
Yeah, that's been discussed many times. It just doesn't feel appropriate. It doesn't feel.
So they don't want to do that.
They're uncomfortable doing it as well.
Right.
But I think that's a lot of the baggage that comes into the situation to begin with. So yeah. But
yeah. Okay. No, I was going to say, I don't think that's revenge, Julie. I think that's it feels more like frustration. Hey?
You said, I don't think that's revenge, Julie. And I went, oh, I'm disappointed.
It's more it's a more of frustration. I don't think revenge is the right word. It's more of a protective thing, don't you think?
Yeah. Is revenge? I don't know. I guess to me, what I was perceiving it to be on both stories, both situations, is this what I deem a mean streak in me, to be able to go to party B in the first situation and to the, That's what I deem as revenge. Me going off, because I watch these TV shows, right, where someone's wronged and then they fought for their whole life to right the wrong. And I guess that's why I thought that, yeah, that's why I view it as
Yeah, so I suppose in that sense, it is, but revenge feels like it's more about punishing someone as opposed to you wanting to bring them to clarity.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you sound disappointed. You're disappointed. You want to.
I don't know. Well, I mean, the human part of me is just like, you know what, people, this is what's gone on. You need to treat everybody with respect. We need to do what's right. But of course, what's right is what's right. It's not what's right for the greatest and highest good. That's not up to me. It's up to me to understand what that is and then walk towards that. But yeah, I don't, yeah.
Well, explain a second situation. Maybe we can get some more revenge in there.
Oh, second situation is so fraught. Second situation is trying to make sure that a lot of people in a situation have exactly what they need to move forward. I don't know if I can really explain it without ratting it out. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So
I think you should get everybody in trouble.
I know, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking too. No, I can't. Oh wow. I'm watching something move quickly way out in the preserve, but I don't know what it is. It's not a deer. It's not a squirrel. I don't know what the other one. I'm gonna talk about the other one and keep it. There's I don't know how to talk about the other one and not keep it from coming. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can. So to me, I was just trying to phrase this when the first situation I've talked about came about. I was like realizing like, oh, look, these situations are presenting themselves to me in an effort to
Okay.
like, you know,
Well, let's look at that then. Let's rather than revenge, how do both these situations make you feel?
there is a helplessness in
Okay.
both
So
situations, huh?
you're observing what you perceive to be pain in somebody else and you feel helpless.
To rectify it.
Do you feel responsible?
Say what?
Do you feel responsible, or is it just an observation and a desire to make somebody else feel better? And that's a nice thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is. Yeah.
So you are feeling helpless. You are observing somebody who you believe is being wronged.
Yes. Yes. In both situations.
So you're perceiving them as a victim.
Yeah.
Does any of that ring true for you right now? Are you feeling wronged, victimized?
I may have the last couple weeks, a week ago. I don't now because I've spent so much.
That would make it very active in your
Yeah.
vibration for you to do it that way.
Yeah. So that makes sense as to why it's come up. Yeah. So the last week and a half, yes. There was an event a week and a half ago, once that event happened, then and I started working with my guides to figure out what was really going on, then I could, yeah. And this idea of not taking on their problem as my own and just standing in a place of love and holding space for everybody in these different situations and realizing it is not up to me to fix these things. Then things subsided so that I can, but I just still thought be interesting just to talk about how to, yeah. Am I making sense? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, well, maybe we should. What do you, well, let's look up revenge. What does Bing say? It's a retaliating in kind or degree to inflict injury in return for something.
Yeah, I guess that's not revenge that I'm trying to do. I'm just more, yeah. The desire to retaliate. Oh yeah. Maybe be vindictive. I don't know. Desire to retaliate. I don't really want to retaliate because I think what
Do you
was
wish
done,
to,
huh?
do you wish to inflict punishment?
I wish to rectify situations. Do I want to punish? No, no, because I don't think that gets me anywhere. I don't think it gets anybody anywhere.
Well, I don't think it's a logical thing, Julie. It's just a feeling. I don't think
Yeah.
you can, it doesn't you don't have to, it's not you. You haven't done anything wrong. You know how like when children stub their toe and that they'll kick the table.
Yeah.
It's a very human feeling to react like that. Whether you then as an adult go on and act on it is different. I think when we see people inflicting pain on people, there is a desire. I mean, that's the only times that I feel incited to violence, shall we say, unless someone makes me really, really angry. And that's really scary when you get so upset. If I saw someone hurt an animal, it would, I would lose control of, I think, of my
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a non-violent person at all. I just don't really have much experience of violence, physical violence. But it would incite in me, certainly felt rage to the degree of shaking and anger and wanting to hit something.
Mhm. Yeah. Like there's it's almost like the way that you described it when you stub your toe and you want to kick the table, there's like a flow of energy. So I'm watching this energy come towards me of the first scenario, party A, party B, and it's almost like I want to just go back and kick the table, just to let the feeling, the momentum of all that flow through me and
It
out.
feels like the injustice that is really annoying
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's a theme. That's a theme for both of us, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
And
come up too with my guides too, which and then they keep reminding me of me back in the 80s in junior high and high school listening to YouTube Sunday Bloody Sunday and stuff like that, the alarm and whatnot. But yeah, my protest
yeah,
songs. Yeah.
and that's a rich theme for you, shall we say, is the injustice.
Yeah. That's for you. Yeah. Yeah. The injustice of it all. And I think too, part of doing this animal communication work and the soul level intuitive coaching work, it opens you up. This intuition work or intuitive work opens you up to seeing the connection of everything and everyone and every being. And that which for me led me to study A Course in Miracles as well as other spiritual type mysticism type stuff. And so when I see it, it's almost like it ignites this feeling of injustice even more, because knowing that everything, Mother Earth, trees, bees, dogs, cats, chickens, everything, we're all humans, everything's connected. And when we inflict pain on another thing, the ripple effects of that can go on for generations. Like I'm all about Dr. Gabor Mate lately in this book, The Myth of Normal, but he talks about how parents have their own issues from their parents who have their own issues from their parents, and it goes on and on and on. And so we have to come to a point where we realize what's going on with us and therefore need to approach things differently to stop this ongoing trauma, for lack of a better word. Everybody is struggling. Everybody that's helping people with trauma struggles with the word trauma because it gets a little misrepresented sometimes. But anyway, so when about this opening up of the intuitive aspect and you see the connection of everything, and then but you see people who are not standing in love but reacting in fear and inflicting harm on people, you just want to step in and stop it and go, wait a minute, stop doing that. And I know that the best way to do that is for me to stay in that place of love and hold space. It's just really hard. It's really hard, especially when you're seeing it go down and your emotions start to react. And I realize that, you know, Thich Nhat Hanh, Dalai Lama, whomever, they were still human, had a stronger muscle in that being able to stay in that place of love and not reacting, or Eckhart Tolle. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to not react and want to fix.
I think I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but I've certainly talked about it before, is it does seem to me that in my humanness, shall we say, that as people get more and more enlightened, I don't think they're disconnected, but they appear to be disconnected because of exactly this. It's like, you know, and I'm still a bit unsure of that as a human, you know, because I still, you know, my beliefs, and this is reinforced by Abraham Hicks, who talk about, yes, meditation's great. You know, there's a lot of the really spiritual people who would have, you know, meditate more and more and more and more and be going really deep inside yourself. And Abraham Hicks is saying, well, no, that's not the point. You're here to engage, to be on earth, to have relationships with people, to play, to dance, to experience things. You know, there's no point. Meditation is a tool, but it's not a means to an end. And it does seem that when you reach this level of enlightenment, shall we say, there is a distancing from other people. And I don't know if that's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look at Eckhart Tolle to a degree, but, you know, certainly reading everything about David Hawkins, for example, he comes across as a very, dare I say, cold person. You know, there may be this infinite love or whatever, but he's not very warm. There doesn't seem to be much joy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another guy that I read, I think he was one that we talked about, which was a something experiment where he just does whatever is presented to him.
Oh.
And again, like, he ends up reaching fabulous heights of enlightenment. Never really came across as particularly happy, you know, but maybe it's just, or maybe, you know, it's almost like, I know that the point of enlightenment is joy, but there is a joy in being alive and interacting and being close and feeling the warmth of another human being, and a smile and a handshake and you know, all these things that don't lend themselves to someone who never gets involved.
Yeah.
So it's a conflict there. Maybe we should explore that.
Yeah.
You know, that is it about, I totally get, and your guys will be right, if person B is not open to the discussion and you get in it and it doesn't go well, and then you end up in an even worse place.
Right.
But I don't see the harm, and obviously only you know the circumstances, but in general, if you have the opportunity to gently ease somebody's pain by saying, you know, you might feel a bit differently about it if you knew X, Y, Z. But I mean, it's difficult if there's confidences and stuff like that.
Right.
But, you know, I don't think that in general it's a bad thing to, if you can do it from that position of, here's some information that might ease your struggle and your feelings towards someone else.
Yeah.
But, you know, but as you've said, that's not appropriate in this case because of person A doesn't want it. But,
yeah.
you know, I do feel a bit of conflict about this, you know, not getting involved at all. I'm not talking about your
or your guides. Who feels the conflict?
Well, me, obviously my guys feel no conflict whatsoever. They're saying it's all relative, and that I probably need to, you know, they're saying it's a piece by piece. You know, it depends on situation by situation, but it's the ability to hold yourself apart, the ability to be able to hold yourself apart from the emotion, and that I totally get. So it might just be that certain people that reach certain enlightenment are just so happens, because I felt that about Elizabeth Haich as well. She never really expressed, or when she did talk about joy, it felt like a very scientific, that there was no lightheartedness, love, lightness in it. It was very much, I have reached a position of bliss. Maybe there are no words for it.
Maybe.
For me.
So Elizabeth Haich wrote a book called Initiation, that Kate and I read with our book club. So just for reference.
Quite hard. Quite hard book to read. It was fascinating. But she doesn't. So for me, like today, driving back from Lubna, absolutely beautiful, Julie. The sky is crisp. I mean, it's cold, but the autumn, you've still got autumn colours out here. The snow's beginning, there's snow on the top of the mountains, blue sky, driving along Glen Eagles Valley, and that absolutely, and I'm little lambs, just a few of them. And, and I'm driving along talking to myself, going, oh my God, look at the colour of that lawn. And then the birds and pigeons ferreting around here and all of that. And that's, to me, love and joy. And I was it was just, and I was thinking, I'm so lucky to be here, to see these things, to look at things I like and things I don't like, to meet with a group of people who I've recently had such a bigger appreciation for, because I'm like, I think I might be happy. I meet these people and and we have fun, and we meet every, and it's always a good laugh, and we're all doing, they're just like they're not random people, but it's like that to me is joy. And holding yourself apart and never getting involved doesn't feel to me that you will then it's almost like you then go above that simple joy, whereas actually I'm quite happy with that simple joy, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go into a intellectual state of bliss that doesn't involve feeling, seeing, touching, hearing. I'm talking shit. You.
I don't know. I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want. I don't like that. It's so interesting because they talk about, they being the spiritual teachers, talk about detaching when it comes from negative stuff. But do they talk about detaching when it comes from positive stuff? And then I juxtapose that up against the idea of co-creating with the divine, that when you're feeling the positive and the joy and the creating, you are co-creating with the divine. Whereas when you are in the negative, that's what you detach. That's so interesting. Will have to think about that one. I don't know. This word paradox has come into my purview again. I've never quite understood what a paradox was until I was listening to my favorite podcast, Elise Lunan, the other day. And she talked about a paradox being where both things are true. But like, for example, she said, the universe is here for me. And the universe is also here for the greatest and highest good, or something. I wrote it down, but she was like, both things are true. Or I know what it is. The universe is here for me, and I am at the same time insignificant in looking at every single thing that's going on. And so in that, she said, was a paradox. And a paradox, how you know it is true. I'm the center of the universe and I am nothing. Both things happen at the exact same time, and both are true. So I don't know where.
And I guess,
yeah.
The reason that feels like a paradox to us is because of our assumptions and beliefs around one or other of the statements.
Yeah.
Because to us, to be the center of everything means to be important, to be, so that's a human interpretation, a very egoic interpretation of what does it mean to be the center of something.
Yeah.
Whereas from an energetic perspective, you are the center of everybody, is the center of everything, because everything is connected.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you're starting. I'm talking shit, but that's how I see it visually.
Yeah.
Is if all things are all connected in a massive web, at any one time, every single point could be the center of everything.
Yeah.
Just where is your focus?
Right. Yes.
You know what got me about think about that, because I was looking at little Tinkerbell Dave, because she's in a different field for some reason, which is only one field up. And I remember when you read her before, this is Tinkerbell, a sheep that lives in a so it's been separated from the others. I mean, she's next to them. I don't know if she's ill. And you'd said how you saw her and there was all these concentric rings of attachment, shall we not attachment, of communication between all the sheep. I always had that beautiful image, and it's a bit sort of like, you know, you see these pictures of Galileo or stuff like that, and there's always, you know, whenever they draw the pictures, there's always a drawing of a compass with a man and a statue, and you know, but it's always these concentric lines joining, talking shit. So revenge, Julie.
Yeah, kind of not so much.
It's interesting though. It's a brave word to use because it's almost a dirty word, isn't it? It's like anger.
When I think that's why I was thinking it was, because I felt I at the same while I was like wanting to just like go off, right? At the same time, I have this whole struggle with anger anyway. That anger is bad. I mean, when we first started having coaching from Danielle, and she would ask me like, well, how come you don't feel your anger? Like it was so buried. So then I equated the anger that I was feeling to both situations and the injustice in both situations. And then I was like, well, you got to do something about that. Well, what is that you do? Well, then you go back and you like yell at people. And that to me was revenge. I mean, that I take it to that degree, I think, is me trying to say I have anger and it's scary and it's big. So I'm going to call it a big, big word that doesn't really pertain, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, anger's fine. What is it? Anger is an indication that you've observed something that you feel crosses a boundary. The fact that it's on somebody else's behalf actually allows you to go bigger, because you would not allow yourself the same luxury, but you can do it for someone else. And this again is another common trait for the two of us, is you can always sail in on a white horse to save somebody else's ass in a way that you would never defend yourself.
Whoa. Holy buckets. Did I just have a whole carton of light bulbs go off or what? Oh my God, Kate. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Oh, sorry, I brought it up before. I assumed you knew that.
Wow.
It's delicious to feel anger on someone else's behalf because that's justified.
Huh. Well, it was the idea that I'm watching it happen in two other situations, which allows me to have the detachment to really kind of watch how my reaction can and cannot affect. And okay, I see. Okay, so to sum it up for everybody who's like not following my like little outburst, the way that hit me was there's these two situations where I'm watching people hurt other people. And usually I would get in there and fight for the underdog in both situations. What it's showing me is that when you simply hold space for it, yes, I can see where boundaries have been. It's an illustration for me of when boundaries are crossed and anger flares up. So, oh, I see there's boundaries there. And at the same time, it lets me practice this state of just holding space, but what I call standing in love, just standing in love and not reacting to what's going on from a place of fear, but reacting, if anything, if there's any reaction, but from this place of love, which would require me in both situations to just be present. So I can see how it's actually a deepening of the practice that was working with me on my own anger and my own injustice. It's just giving me an example that's outside of me, just like one step removed, so that I could practice it there. And then we'll see. God, who knows what will happen next. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, no, it's yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter as long as it meant something to you, Julie.
Well, yeah, and maybe we should just end it there, and we could just see if it made sense to anybody else.
Put it in the comments.
Yes, put it in the
Please,
comments if it made
if anybody knows what on earth Julie's just discovered, could they please put it in the comments? Thanks.
I'll have to watch this again to see if I even remember what I
So
discovered.
will I.
So yeah, so I will just say thanks for watching this and helping me work through what I thought. Kate, thanks for helping me work through what I thought was one thing, but actually probably another, which is just this whole idea of injustice, feeling something unjust, and that I have to get in there and fight, but that even that is a boundary. There's a whole something in there. We'll have to think about this. So, but I'd love to hear from people who watch this and have something to say about this, or have a similar experience and what you've done about it, and how any of these practices have worked for you. So we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Making Light Two Humans Being. I'm Julie. Here with me as always is Kate Foggo. Please like and subscribe so that others so that you can help others find this show that we love doing. You can join us every now and then too on Instagram Live. We're going to do live animal communication readings from time to time, but we'll see what goes on, or even conversations with guides. We'll see what happens. But anyways, go ahead, please like and subscribe us. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, leave them in the chat below. We are Making Light Two Humans Being, and we will see you next week. Please take good care of yourself. Till then.